Annex 8 has turned to be, Malaysia has adopted and adapted. Annex 8 become Cat 8. So all the following requirement for TC, restricted TC, C of A, permit to fly will be referred in the Cat 8. Okay, the flow of the regulation is you must have a TC for the certificate of airworthiness, means the aircraft is airworthy. It must have a TC or RTC. It must be manufactured by a company with production approval. Then the aircraft eligible for the COA or permit to fly if the airworthiness requirement is not in the Annex 8. Tu jelas ya? Any changes to the TC will be approved as STC or modification or repair. So that is the delta to the TC, to the type design. Okay, airworthiness has two parts. Two phase. Phase 1 is initial, second phase is continuing. Initial airworthiness is the airworthiness certificate issued after the aircraft leave the factory, leaving the OEM. For Malaysia, but if you buy the aircraft from overseas, you import the aircraft, the factory will issue, not the factory, the authority will issue export COA. Then export COA will be reviewed by the receiving country like Malaysia, and then Malaysia will issue certificate of airworthiness. That one is initial airworthiness certificate. It will be renewal, but most countries in the world they do not renew. The COA is non-terminating. How to read this? We got blue, orange, and green. Blue is the requirement, EASA regulations. Orange is acceptable mean of compliance. Green is guidance material. Okay, don't worry about that. What we are interested is on the okay. Part 21 has several subpart. There are subpart A, general provisions. There is subpart B, TC and restricted TC. Subpart C, which is not applicable, reserve. Subpart D, changes to type certificate and restricted type certificate. Subpart E, STC. Subpart F, production approval, POA. Sorry. Subpart F is production approval without POA. You don't have POA, but you still can produce the aircraft. Maybe you in the process of getting the POA, or you may doing short-term production which you do not require to have a complete POA. So you have to apply using part 21 subpart F. We do have this, but still not translated to the CAT. For this production without production approval, still in the form of the notice. So you can go to CN website, go to notice, you can see this production without production organization approval. And subpart G, production organization approval, POA is subpart G. Proper. You are building the aircraft, you design the aircraft, and then you want to build the aircraft. You must have both DOA, POA, but if you are DOA, you design, you sign contract with another organization to manufacture the aircraft. That manufacturer, that company must have POA. And then we have subpart H, certificate of airworthiness and restricted certificate of airworthiness. Okay, our COA do not really follow this. And obviously, we do not have restricted certificate of airworthiness. Restricted certificate of airworthiness is for the restricted type certificate. For us, for restricted type certificate in Malaysia, we issue permit to fly. I is noise certificate. J is design organization, that is DOA. You are doing technical services and you want to have approval to approve minor design, minor changes, then you must apply for DOA Part 21 Subpart J. And then you must have J, and then K, part and appliances. Subpart K is the requirement, the procedure. And we have subpart L, reserve. We have subpart M, repairs. We have subpart N, not applicable. We have subpart O, TSO. We have subpart P, permit to fly. We have part Q, product, parts, appliances. Okay, this is the one that identification of part. Sorry, I made a mistake earlier. Okay, TSO, repair, TSO, permit to fly, and part numbering is part Q. How you identify your part number? Part numbering. Conduct part numbering of the parts. Okay, these subparts, most of it has been adopted. I use the word adopt. Why adopt? Take it. Why adapt? Use it in the context of CA Malaysia, in the context of Malaysian industry. Jelas
Jelas.
Okay. If you look at here, later you may ask, as I go through this content list, you will see numbers. Okay, you see numbers. For example, subpart A, general provision, 21A1, 21A2. You can see this number over and over. So that number refer back to this. For example, you look at the STC, 21A 3.1 scope. You can see that in the CAT letter, that CAT has maintained this number, means that for future reference, you can go back to this.
Okay.
Alright?
So Prof.
Yeah.
So basically, in our CAT 8 will refer to the numbering that refers to the IASA document that you show. Is that correct?
No, never. Okay, again, CAT 8 is from Annex 8.
Okay.
Adopt and adapt. Whatever you see in IQ Annex 8, it will be in the CAT 8.
Okay.
Jelas?
Jelas.
CAT 8 adalah standard and recommended practices. Jelas?
Jelas.
It is a policy.
Okay.
Still does not tell you how to do things.
No.
Okay, so now how to do it? So CAM produced this CAT specific for the activity, specific for the TC, specific for STC, specific for mod approval, specific for repair approval. Jelas?
Yeah, jelas.
How they come up with, how they arrive to that CAT? They cut and paste, or they just adapt of this IASA.
Oh yes. Okay.
But will it be written formally? No.
No. Okay.
That's why I nak bagi you because when I explain to you CAT, at least you can go back and appreciate where are this come from. Batang mana benda ni?
Okay. Faham.
Yeah. So you can this one you can download lah. IASA ni memang ada saja. So you can go look at this IRU ni, which is very interesting. Everything are in there. Semua detail ada kat sini. I think it's no problem lah. That is a good reference for you. Okay, now let's go back to the CM website. Okay, our interest more on aircraft airworthiness. You go to Cat 8. You can see Cat 8. You nampak Cat 8101, General Provision, same Part 21 Subpart A. Ingat tak apa Subpart A? You can see
General provision.
8102, same Part 21 Subpart B.
Okay, dia sama.
8104, same Part 21 Subpart D. Same Part 21 Subpart E. Cat 8106, Part 21 Subpart M. 8107, Part 21 Subpart B minus 1. So this Part B, Subpart B. 8108, Subpart E minus 1. This is Subpart E. 8109, Part 21 Subpart D minus 1, Subpart D. 8110, Subpart M minus 1, Subpart M. Then 8201, Subpart G. 8206, Subpart Q. How can you relate this? What is your understanding of this? So maksudnya kita more or less samalah apa yang kita buat dengan IASA. Okay, kita tanya pula kenapa IASA? Because most of the world has adopt and adapt IASA. You carilah kat mana, mesti ada IASA. You pergi Singapore, you pergi Indonesia, you pergi Philippines, maybe different, they follow US. You pergi Thailand, maybe a bit to US. Most Europe, most Cambodia, most Indochina, they follow IASA. In fact, Indochina regulation is written by IASA people. China also follow IASA. India follow IASA. Okay, now there's a question. Now CAA break away from IASA. The UK now is no longer EU. So ada orang tanya, do we follow UK back? Itu saya tak tahu. Okay, tapi in Europe, even though they are not EU, like Switzerland ke negara-negara lain yang not EU, they still using IASA.
Some of the countries are yes, direct yes, members. Yes. Most of the EU members, apart from the direct signatory to IASA,
Even
they have an agreement with IASA that they can participate in the meetings as well as like adopt the rules. So
yes.
they have tier, like 3 tiers. I think I forgot. Either you're direct member, you're like a corporate member, or you're an observer.
Okay.
So they have these like 3 tiers, and that's how the IASA implement their rules within Europe as well. Even outside of Europe, also you can be like a member to the union, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because they allow
You have to sign technical agreement.
Yes, the technical agreement.
Okay, jelas? Ada soalan? Kena jelas ni. Okay, back to UK back to where they are before. They got BCR, they got all those whatever we familiar before. We don't know. But currently our regulation is this. This is the one that we have, and this one is adoption and adaptation of IASA regulations. For the airworthiness is IASA Part 21. For continuing airworthiness is IASA Part 145, Part 147, Part M Subpart G, Part M Subpart F. Now there's a new part, Part Camo, Part CAO. Are the CAA will go into that? They want you ask them lah, you are the industry. Part Camo and Part CO break away from Part M Subpart G, break away from Subpart M Subpart F. Part CO containing both MRO and management of aircraft airworthiness. So untuk semua company like Royal Flight, it's very good for you to have Part CAO. If that is the advantage to you, you may write to CAA say, are you implementing CAO? When you implementing CAO, And you may say, we need the CEO for your organization. That is why the part CEO all about is for the smaller aircraft for non-AOC. Most country like Singapore and most other country, they have this CAT. They have the part 21 in one document. For Singapore, they call it SAR 21. Singapore Aviation Regulation, Aviation Requirement, Aviation Regulation 21. Kita part 21 tu tak ada, hidden. Tapi subpart tu ada. Subpart A, subpart B, subpart D, subpart E, subpart M, semua ada. Where is part 21? Okay. Jelas eh? So kita tak nak compare dengan negara lain, but kita nak tengok where are we? Situationally, where are we? Cukup. Okay. Jelas eh? So dalam awareness ni, aktiviti dia adalah, okay, this one dia part A, part B ni tak, dia berterabur. So I nak make the flow to you. Yang pertama dalam part 21 ni adalah part 21 subpart J. Okay, why subpart J? Because aircraft must be designed by position. You take note. 8401 dulu.
Okay.
Bila ada 8401 design, you boleh cerita you nak apply TC. So after you ada part 20, ada 8401, you akan go for application of TC, which is mana? Part 21 subpart B 8102. DOA apply TC and RTC. No other organization can apply for the TC and RTC. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you have the TC, you got the design. Your design is approved because you got the TC. You must have to component. You must have part 21 subpart Q, POA, production. Design organization apply for TC, dah dapat TC, you nak manufacture. You dah apply for POA. You see the flow eh? Dalam buku saya tu ada baca yang apa ada ni. Okay. Itu jelas. Okay, next. Bila dah ada POA, you nak terbang the aircraft. You kena ada COA 8301. But if you are exporting the aircraft to other country or you receiving aircraft from other country, you must be talking about 8304. You must have part 21 subpart P. So part 21 subpart P will be with the part G, production approval, and also with the subpart B. Subpart J, DOA. DOA must do experimental flight to show compliance to the airworthiness requirement when there is a requirement for flight performance. They also need to have permit to fly. 8305. So 8305 ada dengan DOA, 8305 ada dengan POA, 8305 ada juga dengan Caam. The process of doing designing part and also making part, you have to do the part numbering. That one is 8206. Responsible to design and manufacture part and component. You must have a system for you to record, to receive, to record, to investigate occurrences in in-service problem. You must comply with 8101. As you fly the aircraft, as you operate the aircraft, you may need modification or you may need to change something on the aircraft. Then you have to apply for STC 8105. You may also want to do some specific mode on the aircraft. You apply through 8104. When the aircraft in operation, the aircraft get damaged and you need to repair the aircraft according to 8106. When you have mode approval, you apply for mode, you got the mode approval, you want to install it 8109. Install the repair 8110. When you have COA, you may have lost you may have a situation when you lost the airworthiness. They want 8306. When you bring in the TC from overseas, aircraft from overseas, you need to validate the TC. So you need to go for the TC validation, which is 8107. You may want to bring a mode from overseas, which is the informed STC. You need to validate the STC, which is 8108. And you want to maintain the aircraft. You need to maintain according to 8601 or 8602. And you want to release the aircraft to service after maintenance, 8708. And you want to release the part from factory for spares, which is also 8708. The story, that is the story. Boleh follow tak? Okay, jelas ada soalan. You need to understand the story. How I put it the story, and that is how you need to think. Otherwise kita lost the context of these regulations. So regulation ni somehow, even though from biasa, dia taklah kalau kita tak biasa, we're not able to appreciate how they put this regulation together and what are behind it. Okay. Ada apa-apa spesifik soalan? Yang problem sama hari ni, you ada problem ke, atau sama ada yang you tahu lebih, boleh kita cakap. Okay, kalau tak ada, yeah. So you got the understanding apa benda dia. Yes, I will do that. Sesuai 3 hari bang.
Okay, understood.
Tapi I just go through area yang significant. Contohnya cara nak memohon apa semua tu tak adalah. So I will go through most katakan DOA ni. I will go through the 431 Sub-Part J ni. First, apa dia DOA ni? How to be DOA? What are the privilege to be DOA? What are the privilege being DOA? Apa the obligation? So kamu has to communicate with DOA. Because you ada repair, you ada mod semua, you tak ada data. How you want to install it on the aircraft? So you must go to DOA to get the data, and you must know what you get from this DOA and what kind of document that you need to look at when you work with DOA. Okay, that is how you need to prepare your mind when we talk about DOA, because you're dealing with DOA. For kamu, you're dealing with DOA because DOA will give you the approved data. OEM lah, kalau you ada OEM data, guna OEM data. Tapi kalau tak ada mod, local mod yang contohnya MS selalu buat mod simple-simple, katakan soap holder lah, tower rail lah semua kan, contoh.